babies. You know what today is? Today is the first day of fall, and Mimzie will not even consider anything pumpkin until today. Pumpkin. We can have this too. Pumpkin. Yes. Who am I kidding? Do you know where Mimzie lives? Mimzie lives 3 blocks from Texas. I can throw a rock and just about hit Texas. It does not fall in southwest Arkansas or Texas yet. The calendar may say it is, but the weather doesn't. But we're gonna do what we can do. Let me get my little afternoon pick-me-up. All right, it'll do pig, and I have a new book for you, and it's a sequel. You know I love sequels, and you know I love squirrels, and this has both. It's Those Darn Squirrels Fly South. Now, I've never actually read this book. I'm just assuming since we are flying south, this is a fall type book. Oh, but just wait, they fly south in the winter. I may be preempting myself. I didn't work that out all the way through. It's all right. It's okay, because it don't feel like fall here anyway. So we're still going to read Mimzie's book. And it's going to be what it's going to be. Old man Fuquire lived at the edge of town in a beautiful forest full of birds and squirrels. But he was such a grump. He scolded fireflies for being too bright. He yelled at clouds for being too fluffy. And when the lilacs bloomed, he pinched his nose with a clothespin so he wouldn't have to smell their scent. Ew, he was tacky britches. Tacky britches. Even for a grump like Fuquire, it had been a glorious summer. He'd spent most of his time painting the colorful birds that visited his backyard. Sometimes by accident, he painted a squirrel. Other times, the squirrels painted themselves. Then Fuquire would shake his old man fist and shout, "Those darn squirrels!" I think they're clever. But now it was fall. Here's our fall. The weather had turned crisp. The leaves had changed colors, and soon the birds would fly south for the winter. Fuquire would have to endure the long, cold winter months alone. Boom, boom. Well, not exactly alone. The squirrels would be there too. Normally, the squirrels spent winters playing ping pong, building ships and bottles. Oh, they played ping pong. They built ships and bottles, which those are really cool. Have you ever seen one? I know how they do that. And knitting. But this year they had other plans. They were curious about where the birds went for winter vacation, so they decided to follow them. Now, not many people know this, but squirrels have a comprehensive understanding of aerodynamic engineering. Good, because your average man does not. They built gyrocopters from pine cones. They built gliders from leaves. They even built a zeppelin from an old shopping bag. Looks like some of them have been looking at Leonardo's models. If you know, you know. When the first frost arrived, the bonga birds took off, followed by the baba birds and the yaba birds. They circled the house, waved goodbye to Fuquire, and headed south, which actually for me, that's this way. The flugy bird spent a few minutes scarfing up the last of the farfel seeds, and he took off too. Fuquire pouted as the sounds of flapping wings faded into the distance. He turned to go inside and heard a rustling in the trees. A rustling followed by a whir. A whir followed by a bzzz. Whatever could it be? It was the squirrels, launching their flying machines one by one. Some of the aircraft flew straighter than others, but eventually they all flew up and away from the harvest-colored treetops and into the cool blue autumn air. The old man could hardly believe his eyes. Great googly moogly. I think I've seen that TV show. He said, "It's a whole flock of flying squirrels." Look at all of their contraptions for flight. Let me whip my pumpkin whistle. I gotta watch these kitty cats. They're sneaking up, investigating. Yes, this kitty over here, Hazeline, she's already had a tasty taste of my snacky snack pumpkin latte in the can. The squirrels followed the flugelbird for days. They flew through the night. They flew through the rain. They even flew through turbulence. Finally, just when the squirrels thought they couldn't fly any longer, the flugelbirds swooped down and landed gracefully on a beach. The squirrels landed with a crunch. Nobody told me they were going on to a beach. I want to go. I want to go. Oh, I want to go. The beach was so warm and beautiful, and the squirrels were so happy to be done flying, they decided to have a fiesta. They weren't swimming. They went swimming and ate mangoes with salt and lime. I bet that's what they had. They played the marimba and danced the merengue. The party lasted all night long. All night long. All night. Over the next few weeks, the squirrels made themselves right at home. There were many new plants to snack on. There were also many new birds to see. There were cocoa birds, kiki birds, and caramba birds. Ay, caramba! There were too many birds to count. One of the birds reminded squirrels of someone they knew. Deep in the snowy woods, a strange noise woke old man Fuquire from his nap. It was coming from the telephone. He was getting a call. When he picked up the receiver, the operator asked if he would accept the charges for a long-distance call from the village of Santa Vaca. Then there was the chattering on the line. Those darn squirrels, shouted Fuquire. Look, he was getting a phone call from the squirrels. They were at the beach calling him. The old man missed the birds and even thought he would never admit it. He missed the squirrels too. So he decided to join them. Can I go? Fuquire had a car that he kept under a tarp in a shed by the stream. He bought it in 1957 and he had driven it only twice. Ooh, look at that car. He loaded it up with his easel, paints, and brushes, fixed himself a snack of cottage cheese with pepper, and hit the road. So, dude, don't knock it till you try it. Then he drove 12 miles an hour all the way to Santa Vaca. The nice people behind him had plenty of time to admire his car. Oh, I gotta turn the page. Finally, Fuquire arrived in the little village. He spotted the flugelbird flying overhead and followed him to the beach. When he got out of the car, the squirrels gave him a big hug. Oh, they're loving on him. Is that so precious? I love it. Oh, look who's up in the tree. Maybe it was the nice weather. Maybe it was the beautiful scenery. Maybe it was the squirrels dancing in his pants. But for the first time in a very long time, the old man laughed. Ha, 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 ha. That was a big belly laugh. But how can you not smile and laugh at the beach? Soon, Fuquire set up his easel and began to paint the local birds. Daba-dobo, sang the cocoa bird. Bada-bobo, sang the kiki bird. Fuquire was overjoyed. The birds here are even more amazing than the birds back home, he exclaimed. Humph, muttered the flugelbird. The sun was very hot. Fuquire sweated, but he kept on painting. Fuquire sweltered, but he kept on painting. Yeah, it feels like fall in Arkansas. Then Fuquire slumped backward, face first, into his painting. Did you get the whole effect there? The squirrels dragged the old man into the shade and gave him some water. He was red as a bonga bird. I know people like that. Some people just can't handle a little sun. Not everybody can be Mimzie's golden whatever. He decided it was time to go home. He had enough. There's a lot to be said for SPF. The squirrels decided to go with him. They had had a wonderful vacation, but after all, it was almost time for their annual snow fort building competition. They had one last snack of mango, then Fuquire waved goodbye to the birds, and they all piled into the car. The trip back home was much quicker for all of them. The squirrels drove most of the way. Those dang squirrels! I just want to holler, yee doggies. That looks like a good time. I just love squirrels. And I just love you.